Let your mercy come to me, O Lord, your salvation according to your promise. Then shall I have an answer for those who taunt me, for I trust in your word. A few weeks ago, I released episode 50. We are lost if we don't know this verse. The episode was on the great commandment. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. I'll put a card up and leave a link in the description if you'd like to watch it, but it's not necessary for this video as the comment I'm discussing today didn't actually address anything specific to that video. The comment was left by someone with a username that has a sketchy meaning. Going forward, I'll refer to this person as Unwia, which stands for username with an inappropriate abbreviation. Here's the comment. The reason many believers are lost is because they accept biblical claims without requiring evidence. Here's a test for all believers. Choose any supernatural claim from the Bible and demonstrate with evidence that it is real and true? Good luck. My answer was simple. The evidence is everywhere you look. It's just that many are blind to it. Peace and blessings to you. Unwia came back. The evidence is everywhere you look? LOL. Please be specific. Are you saying that the trees are evidence for God? Do you mean the clouds? Please elaborate? Thank you. Usually, I have a rule of one reply and move on. I broke that rule. Here's what I said. Yes and yes, literally everywhere. It would take a lot of typing to elaborate. I know. I'll do a future episode on these very questions. Look for it soon. I put the exclamation point there because I was pretty excited about the idea. Anyway, here we are. Where to begin? Let's go back to the beginning. Unwia's claims suggest that there is not evidence for our belief in the Bible. First off, I wonder if Unwia applies this to everything. In order to function as a civilized society, we must put our faith in certain facts and trust the experts in certain matters. Most of us trust the earth is round or that there's a space station in the sky. We might not have seen that for ourselves, but we trust that that's true. Those who believe that the earth is flat only rely on what they see in their own senses, ignoring what is common knowledge. History falls into this trust as well. We know the Titanic hit an iceberg and sank to the bottom of the ocean. How many of us have actually seen the evidence for this? You might say, Jenn, I might not have seen the Titanic sink to the bottom of the ocean, but it was well documented. The story was passed down through generations. And we have actual evidence that it's still there. Do you on that last one, though? Someone told you they have evidence, but have you seen it for yourself? Or did you trust what you were told? Many people had evidence that Jesus rose from the dead. They actually saw him with their own eyes. And we're talking about hundreds of people here. They passed down their stories to future generations, and they documented what they witnessed in letters. These were collected and rounded up into one book. Yep, the Bible is the evidence. It is the history textbook. If you refuse to believe simply because you have not seen the events with your own eyes, you fall into the category of flat earthers, my friend. So, right off the bat, the claim in what Unwia called a test is not as strong as Unwia might have thought. That said, I'll still take the challenge. Unwia wants evidence for a supernatural event in the Bible. I won't be able to give evidence of how anything supernatural occurred because, well, if we knew how it happened, it wouldn't be supernatural now, would it? I also have an entire video on Eucharistic miracles. and the science tied to those. If you're watching this video, Unwia, you should definitely watch that one as well. I'll even add it in a card and in the description so you can find it easily. I know you probably don't think that's biblical, but I do. Okay, let's see. Something that proves the Bible is real and true. Something that matches the events described and verifies a supernatural claim. Shoot. If only there was something that could have imprinted an image of a man that had been scourged. With wounds that match a crown of thorns. And a spear to the side. It would have to be of a man who was crucified, though. They didn't have photography back then. An image like that alone would be supernatural. That would be evidence that, I don't know, the man under the shroud miraculously rose from the dead and left an imprint behind? Okay, we're already at
6.5
minutes on this video, and we haven't even gotten to Unwia's second comment. Basically, Unwia implies that it's not understood what I mean by everywhere you look. So I'll explain. Yes, the trees and the clouds are evidence of God. Just because we know how the trees got there and these are Unwia's words, a visible collection of tiny water droplets or ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere, doesn't change that all of that works by God's design. Science tells us how he did it, and the Bible tells us why. This universe is massive, and it's also unforgiving. The amount of emptiness out there is literally a concept we cannot fathom. However, I'm supposed to believe that by some fluke of nature, the sun happened to form with enough proper material around it to gather up a planet that just happened to have the right elements at just the right point, close enough to the sun and yet far enough away from the sun to develop first an atmosphere that would protect us from the very sun that we also need to live, and then develop trees and clouds. The planet was then tilted to create seasons that would make life thrive. This life would then, by sheer accident, evolve into beings whose bodies and brains are so complex. We still don't know how everything works. Like, what? Don't get me wrong. I believe this is all a possibility to how things happened, just not the by accident part. One little thing doesn't happen in the right place and at the right time in this massive emptiness we call space, and humanity never exists. One must take a giant leap of faith to believe all that happened with no design, no plan, and by sheer coincidence. It is far more plausible that my mere existence, your existence, was done on purpose by someone who knew what he was doing. Yes, he. Respect his pronouns. I didn't want to type all this out in the comments, so I think this episode is a good alternative. Hopefully, this will help Unwia and people like Unwia to at least understand how us unlearned, unthinking believers, think. Thank you all for your comments. And this week, special thanks goes out to Unwia. Make sure to check out this video if you want to learn more about some scientifically verified miracles. Whew. Got a little cheeky there.